Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing here at Homestead Miami Speedway in all three series here, the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, as well as the Cup Series. Fresh off of last episode where we saw Brad Keselowski finally return to victory lane after what has been a winless streak that spanned over one season for him, and really kind of making a case for himself to really prove that he still deserves to be in a top ride and is still able to win races. So definitely I think that helped his case of potentially moving over to the 4-car next season, or at least staying in the 2-car for the next season of this career mode. But we come through to the Ford EcoBoost 200 here at Homestead Miami, where we had a subscriber Chase Robson in the truck for us. I still believe that Homestead Miami should be the season finale. It is such a good race compared to what Phoenix always produces in real life now. As we came through down into turns 1 and 2, wasn't a great qualifying effort for Chase Robson here, but he was committed to moving up to this high line early on and trying to make up as much time as he could here as he dives down into turn 3. It was 3 by 3 right there for a brief moment now. A few lanes deep as the 15 truck goes a little bit sideways into turn 3. He makes a save though, fortunately, after contact from Robson, as he actually hits the outside wall as well as he came through out of turns 4. So a bit of a rough first lap, but it would start to get better as this race went on, as he would continue to now start working his way forwards. You would get up towards a top 10 position here a little bit later on in this race. Now, as I definitely want to get a custom modded paint scheme on our truck here in the future, but of course I got to find a template to do that first. But once I can get access to that, you'll definitely see a custom paint scheme on our truck here in the future. But we come through straight to the final lap in Miami, up inside the top 10, trying to make this outside line work for the final few corners through turns 3 and out of turns 4 for the final time here at Homestead Miami in the Ford EcoBoost 200. It's going to be a top 10 here for us in the Truck Series P8. Now, as you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen. So Tony Bradinger brings home the victory here. First career win in the Truck Series. Very cool to see that. Now, as you see the rest of the top 10, Grant Enfinger rounds out the top 10. Now, as towards the bottom of the field, we actually had Matt Crafton with a rough day, but Austin Hill at the very bottom there. So very rough for him. Now, as we come through into the Xfinity Series side of things at Miami with Paul Menard behind the wheel, fresh off of our first win with Menard in the last episode at Atlanta. Of course, we won last episode in both the Trucks and Xfinity Series. So hopefully we can carry some momentum throughout the rest of the season, building off of that. Now, as you see, Ty Gibbs would find himself on pole now as you would get ready to take the green flag. It's a battle of Menard's cars between Menard and Gibbs in that Toyota Supra there throughout this whole season, as we would be underway with Menard as he went down into turns 1. Another rough qualifying effort for us here. Miami is not always a great track for myself historically. We usually have some solid runs at this track, but we've never really been able to capture a victory. The most recent time though was NASCAR Heat 4, the very last episode of that career mode. We actually won that race, and I remember I did a 100% race for that one. So definitely I think when we come to the end of the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode before the next NASCAR game, we might end up doing a 100% Phoenix race or something. I'm not 100% sure on that because I really do not enjoy Phoenix like I do Homestead Miami. But we come through though a little bit later in this race, and Paul Menard really was struggling throughout this race. He couldn't really go anywhere. He would make up a little bit of ground here and there, but then within the next few laps he would lose that ground to another group of cars that was coming through the field. So he was just kind of back and forth, closing towards the top 10, then drifting down towards the bottom part of the teens. He was down about 17th, 18th here throughout the rest of this race, and we came through now right to the end of this race in Miami, out of turns 4, close to that wall, exiting the corner down the front straightaway just in front of the 0 of Jeffrey Earnhardt, and it was a very rough day and finish for us here for Paul Menard, a P17. So definitely not what we were looking for. Now, as you see up ahead of us, we had Sam Mayer up towards the top 10, not quite in it, but Christian Eckes pulls off the victory. Quinn Half up there in the top 5. Timmy Hill with another good run. Timmy Hill, I think, is going to be a strong competitor this season in the Xfinity Series, and definitely could make a good case to be in a good Cup ride in the next season or two here in Cup. Now, as we come through to the Cup Series side of things at Miami with myself, we have the Razor paint scheme back on the car. Never can get enough of this paint scheme. I do love it so much, and I hope we can continue to run this scheme for quite a long time. As you guys know, though, with Menards being on our car in Xfinity, you're going to see them actually be a primary sponsor. I've said this before, but they will be a primary sponsor on our Cup car a few races this season, and you're going to see that relationship build as this career mode goes on. You'll see them on the car more often now as we come through out of turns 4, heading down this front straightaway. Across the line, we get a 32.182 for the Dixie Vodka 400 in qualify. Very strong compared to the other series. P10, cannot complain about that at all. A very good effort overall. Now, as you see up front on the front row, Kyle Busch on pole, Denny Hamlin joins them, and then we got our teammates of Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott on row number 2, and all Hendrick cars up inside of the top 10 is Kevin Harvick down there, P26 in his final season. Keselowski, the most recent winner, down in P31 as Joey Gase rounds out the field there on that back row with John Hunter Nemechek. Alright, boys, we've been strong on the mile and a half so far this season. Hopefully that carries over into today. I think we've got a good car, and hopefully we can get a strong top 10 out of it, so let's go have some fun. There you heard myself on the radio now as we get ready to take the green flag for the Dixie Vodka 400 at Homestead Miami Speedway. Very excited to get this one underway. One of my favorite tracks on the schedule. Definitely my favorite mile and a half, just in front of Kansas. There, as you see, Chris Buescher, he failed pre-race inspection. He'll be starting at the back of the field along with Tyler Reddick, who gave up his qualifying position for a new set of tires now, as I guess they felt like there was an issue with those tires at the end of qualifying now, as we get ready to take the green flag here from the 10th starting position alongside our affiliate teammate of William Byron now, as Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin lead the way to the green flag now as we are underway at Homestead Miami Speedway. Right behind us we got a couple young drivers like Harrison Burton as well as Austin Cindric. Cindric in his second season of his Cup Series career. Harrison Burton now in season number 3. As you guys remember, when he was in a rookie, he was in the 96 car. Then he moved up to the 95 car last season, and now here he is on the top team of Joe Gibbs Racing. He was in the mix in the, I believe it was the second race of the season for the victory, and then after that it's kind of been a bit of a slow start for Harrison Burton in this 19 car, but I would not count him out here as we go down into turn 3, already moving up towards the higher lane, and we make it 3 wide with our teammate of Alex Bowman and the affiliate teammate of William Byron, and we blow right by both of them, as well as we pass Noah Gregson in the 1 car, and now we already get to the back of the 21 of Ryan Preece, and Ryan Preece has definitely had some strong pace in that 21 car, and I think you're going to have to watch out for him throughout the season as we are making up a bunch of ground early on here as we would go down into turns 1 now on lap 3. Larson and Elliott side by side. I'm going to take it 3 wide to the outside of both of them here to the center of turns 1 and out of turns 2, and all of a sudden we're already up inside the top 5 here as we go down this back straightaway, clearing both the 9 and the 5 of Elliott and Larson, moving up into P4, and I had some very high hopes after just 2.5 laps or so of moving all the way from 10th to 4th using this outside lane, but to my surprise, this outside would kind of start to die out within just a few laps, and all of a sudden I couldn't do really a whole lot. We came through to lap 10 and I was in the exact same spot. I couldn't close in on Ryan Blaney. Kyle Larson was still with me, but about 7th place on back had really fallen off, so it was really just a 6-car breakaway, quote unquote, because you see 1st and 2nd of Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin, they were long gone as well, so I was doing my best to try and run down that 12 of Blaney. I had to I came to a realization that I had to start searching around with the lanes, but that would not matter because the caution would come out for the first time here today in Homestead Miami. Everybody come to the pit lane, so I put 2 cans of fuel in the car, 4 fresh tires, and I realized right off the bat we need to make some adjustments to this thing if we're going to have a chance to do anything. So I put the right side tire pressures down just a little bit, and then I put the wedge up a few clicks to 50.2, and we gain 1 spot on the pit lane, moving us into the perfect lane that I would like to be in here on the outside for this restart. So Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch on the front row now as the green flag is back out, and already less than 5 laps to go here in stage 1. This first stage blew by very quick. William Byron in P3 has a tremendous amount of speed in that number 88 Camaro here today. Of course, driving for that Earnhardt Johnson Racing team this season, just like he did last season. He picked up 1 win last season in the career mode and looks to continue and build upon that momentum this season here, as he was a very early playoff exit last season. There you see myself on the outside of Ryan Blaney down into turn 3, already seeing a lot more potential out of that 12 car this season. I think this is a huge season overall for drivers on the Penske Racing side with Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano not necessarily. I think he's pretty secure there in that 22 car for this career mode, but Blaney and Keselowski, these are big seasons for them if they both have really rough seasons. Of course, Keselowski just picked up that first win of the season, but if he doesn't win anything else, you can definitely still see him end up going away from Penske Racing. And along with Ryan Blaney, he has to win some races. He needs to be a playoff contender. He didn't even make the playoffs last season and was lucky that he didn't get actually booted for Austin Cindric. Instead, Instead, they expanded to a 4-car team over there now as we come through out of turns 4. But you can see a lot of shakeups with that team in the next upcoming season of this career mode. Now as we came through to the final few laps, now starting the final lap of stage 1, William Byron had taken the lead in that Liberty University car now as he came through turns 1 and 2, just in front of Kyle Busch. Hamlin to the top, Byron on the bottom along with Busch, Blaney on the bottom, myself on the top. And that's another thing I love about this track, even in the video game, is that you see a lot of multi-groove racing between the AI drivers now as we go down into turn 3 for the final time here in stage 1 for the Dixie Vodka 400. I'm all the way up by that wall as close as I can get, trying to get momentum as we come through out of turn 4, but it's not going to be enough at all as William Byron wins stage 1, Kyle Busch second. We come through across the line here for the 5th position. So definitely wasn't very happy with how the car was driving, but clearly we still have some solid speed in this car to still be able to get P5 with a car I wasn't really particularly happy with. That wasn't too bad, guys, but definitely some work to do here. I think we need to tighten it up on the long run. There you heard myself on the radio. Definitely need some more tightness in the car when we're on the long run. Now, as you saw me actually make a grill tape adjustment there, as there wasn't really enough time to get an idea of how that car was driving there after that most recent adjustment on that last pit stop. So I just put the grill tape up a little bit, and now we gained 2 positions on the pit lane, overtaking both Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney for the start of stage 2 here. So we're going to be P3 behind our teammate of William Byron. Now, as stage 2 is underway, and of course, we're going to go through here into the amp segment. There you had the amp segment. Now as we're 3 wide with Denny Hamlin as well as Ryan Blaney as we dive down into turns 1. Not the exact restart I was looking for there, as we clearly don't have the speed to really contend with a driver like William Byron as well as Kyle Busch at this point here in this second stage, as we're still 3 wide now with Todd Gilliland up in the mix. A very good run so far for Gilliland in his second season of his Cup Series career. He, of course, replaced Ryan Newman, who had retired going into last season, if you guys remember, and he had a decent season, ups and downs, but overall did, I think, what was exactly expected for a team like that. Now, as you see, Gilliland would actually get in front of me, past Ryan Blaney. Now he is working on passing Denny Hamlin. As I was starting to fall down the order, Kevin Harvick had run us down. He made a move up my inside, so we dropped down to P7. I get to the back of him just a little bit there with 11 laps to go in stage 2, and now he's also going to look up the inside of the 12 of Blaney. Myself and Blaney falling down the order here, down in P6, P7 as we came through to lap 9, and I was having a tough time passing Ryan Blaney. So I look up the inside though into turn 3 here on lap 9, and I decide, you know what, we're going to try a bit of a slide job here. So I send it into the corner, and we manage to slide up perfectly in front of the 12. He tries to go for the crossover, but I cover him off there as we exit turns 4, heading down this front straightaway. So we hold on to P6, but then he would look up my inside into turns 1 the very next lap here, and I would get a little bit sideways right here out of turn. So you see me kind of fight the car, then I clip the outside wall, and that opens the door for Blaney to get back past, and now we move down to P7. So a little bit frustrating that we had worked so hard to pass Blaney and then gave it up like 2 corners later now as we came through now to lap 13. Still working on trying to pass Blaney as we came through out of a turn 2, though very sideways there on the exit of the corner, nearly to the inside wall even, as we fortunately do not hit it, but we gave up a bunch of time right there. That was a big moment for sure, and it was really starting to get away from me. The car was getting looser and looser, and it would continue to happen now as we came through now onto lap 14 into turns 3 and 4, and you can see me right here fighting the car quite a bit. We overcorrect and nearly put it into the outside wall, and I'm slipping and sliding everywhere, and that opens the door for the 7 of Smith and the 5 of Larson to go by. And now we drop down to P9 as we came through to 3 laps to go, and now into turn 3, though the 12 of Ryan Blaney actually blows an engine into turns 3. The caution comes out, end stage 2 a few laps early, and the big surprise about this is this is not the end of the day for Ryan Blaney. He still gets awarded 5 stage points for that finish, and he is going to remain in the race, but of course having to go to the back. But of course I make some adjustments to try and tighten up this car even more. As you can see, it was getting just borderline uncontrollable there as we nearly hit the inside wall and ended our own race there. We definitely need this thing tightened up, boys. That was really sketchy there. Thank goodness we didn't end our day, but yeah, this car's a handful. There you heard myself on the radio just kind of mentioning once again we needed tighter cars. We gained 1 spot due to Ryan Blaney being sent to the back, but definitely usually when the long run comes in, it's usually to my advantage. Today it was the exact opposite. The short run really is in my advantage today, and the long run is our disadvantage. So we get underway for the start of stage 3 here now alongside the number 5 of Kyle Larson, our teammate. Joey Logano, our rival, just behind us as Kyle Busch is side by side with William Byron into turns 1. I believe it was Kyle Busch who won stage 2 there, as I actually left the door open for Joey Logano because I knew he was going to run into the back of me if I stayed in front of him, and I saw him get close to my mirror, so I moved aside and said, you know what, you can have that, and I'll probably pass you back here in another lap or so. So we go down into turn 3, and we're right on that left rear quarter panel up the inside now of the 22 as we exit turns 4. Christopher Bell now up inside the top 10 here as we're 3 wide for a moment. We make it 3 wide with the 20 and the 22. A beautiful paint scheme on that 20 car now, as I actually made that one myself, and I really think it looks good seeing it for the first time on track now in the career mode now as we came through, passing both Bell and Logano, and immediately I hop back up to that top side here. We're going to try to make it 3 wide with the 2 McLaren teammates there of Zane Smith as well as Eric Jones. Seeing a lot more potential out of both of those McLarens so far this season between Smith now currently up towards a playoff position and Eric Jones having some strong runs as well, and I think you're going to see that team continue as this career mode goes on to be a strong contender that can maybe even be a championship contender here a few seasons more down the line. But you see myself now on lap 45, and it turns 1 up the inside of Kyle Larson. I tried to slide job him once again. I thought I screwed it up because I completely messed up my entrance to the corner, but fortunately it still works out. We move now up into P6, and once again though, this outside line kind of started to die out, so I had to start searching around. So I dropped down to the bottom through turns 3 and 4 now on lap 46, just trying to find anything I can, as Denny Hamlin, he was now back out in front over Kyle Busch. William Byron falling a little bit behind those 2 front drivers in P3 now, as up ahead it's P4 and P5 between Kevin Harvick as well as Todd Gilliland there, as I kind of cut off the McLaren behind me there into turns 1 of Eric Jones, but fortunately nothing kind of came out of that now as we were approaching the final 20 laps, and I realized my only chance at this point to really do anything is to see me still fighting the handling of the car as it was starting to get loose again, but I realized my only chance was going to be to short pit here, and we have a victory. We're locked into the playoffs, so I decided we were going to take short pitting to a whole new level here and pit probably 5 to 6 to 7 laps before the other drivers even have to come in. So we came through trying to hold off Kyle Larson, who was starting to put on a little bit of pressure. He had passed both of the McLarens, but we came through now to lap 52, and I decided, you know what, still 9 laps of fuel in this car, but we're coming into the pit lane this lap right here as we dive down into turn 3, and I get down to that bottom. Fortunately, Larson, he stays up a few lanes, so we're not going to have to worry about holding him up, but we come through into the pit lane here on lap 52, still just over 15 laps to go. When we hit the line, it will be 15 to go, but a very easy call here. 1 can of fuel, 2 right side tires, and we bring it in to the box for what is an estimated 8-second pit stop. A very calm race overall so far, so I was anticipating it surprisingly staying green here for this pit cycle because, like I said, really not a whole lot's happened here. We had Ryan Blaney blow an engine, of course, but that's really the only eventful thing now is Ryan Blaney, who blew that engine. Well, there you see him right in front of me into turn 3 as we would cycle out, of course, in 40th place. Nobody has even DNF'd from this race, kind of showing how calm this race has been so far here. Definitely, I think, the most calm race of the season at Homestead Miami now, as we were now trying to get on the move and gain as much time as quickly as we could, as I knew we were in a good position here. We're going to have a lot of time going our way with just this tire advantage now as we come through out of turn 2, passing the 10 of Matt DiBenedetto, a little bit sideways there out of turn 2, nearly slamming into the 10. Fortunately, we saved the car and hang on to it now, as I can confirm I finally corrected Matt DiBenedetto's name, by the way. I capitalized the B in his last name. Now, hopefully that will make some of you happy as we go down into turn 3. It took me way longer than it should have to fix that now, as I just straight up kept forgetting about it, but we come through to lap 58, 10 laps to go in this race. Now we have everybody starting to come into the pit lane and make their pit stops out of turns 4 now in lap 59. Logano, Elliott, our teammate, the McLaren comes in, Harvick as well. So we're going to cycle out here around the next time by and really see what's going to happen. But we're coming into turns 1 right now, passing another McLaren, but in front of us I can see Todd Gilliland is still actually going to beat us off the pit lane, so we would still gain a little bit of time because we would pass Kevin Harvick the next time around and now move up into P5 with less than 10 laps to go. Now at the end of lap 62, lap traffic's starting to play a bit of a role, but that's not going to be an issue anymore because the caution comes out approaching the final 5 laps, and this is going to force a 2-lap dash. So it's been a calm race is all of a sudden going to give us a 2-lap dash here for the finish, and we're in decent position here, P5. If we can get a really good launch on the restart, we might be able to go 3 wide up the inside of, say, Denny Hamlin, or even get to the inside of Kyle Busch if we're really lucky here for what should be at least the final restart of the day in Homestead Miami. We've had no repeat winners this season in any 3 series. Kyle Busch trying to change that today for his second win of the season as the green flag is out, and we are back underway with 2 laps to go. We got Todd Gilliland up in the mix for his first career win. William Byron looking for career win number 2. Denny Hamlin looking for his first win on the season. Kyle Busch and myself looking for win number 2, as I unfortunately couldn't get to the back of that 11 of Hamlin to make him 3 wide, or maybe even push him now as we come through out of turn 2 down this back straightaway. Todd Gilliland on my outside, a lap and a half to go. Kyle Busch leads the way clear of Hamlin as we go down into turns 3, approaching the final lap here in Homestead Miami Speedways. I try to get up the inside of my affiliate teammate of Byron, but I can't quite get there. We have quite a bit older tires compared to these guys that pitted way after us now as we come through to start the final lap here in the Dixie Vodka 400 at Homestead Miami. Now I'm going to jump up to the outside, my only chance to really do anything and build up a run out of turns 2 as we come through the center of 1 and 2 for the final time, and Denny Hamlin's going to get his nose up the inside of Kyle Busch. They're going to be side by side for the lead as we got Zane Smith in the McLaren up my inside, 3 wide behind us between Larson, Harvick, and Gilliland as we dive down into turn 3 for the final time. Fortunately, we get clear of Smith. We drop down in front of him. Denny Hamlin clears Kyle Busch on the exit of turns 4. So for the first time this season, as we exit the corner, Denny Hamlin will win as we come through to cross the line just in front of Zane Smith and somehow get a 4th place finish out of that. I definitely don't think we had a car capable, or at least speed-wise capable of finishing in 4th, so definitely very happy overall to get that finish there as Denny Hamlin picks up win number 1 on the season. Christopher Bell rounds out the top 10, but a great day overall for drivers like Zane Smith, Todd Gilliland as well. Eric Jones ended up falling down to P13, but he had a top 10 car overall. Bowman kind of struggled today. He was down towards the bottom part of the teens there. I think it was 18th it just said he got. Now as you see Sheldon Creed, the rookie, down there in the 30s unfortunately, but BJ McLeod, Joey Gase, Anthony Alfredo, as well as John Hunter Nemechek were all a lap down, but nobody DNF'd in this race, and I think that's the first time in quite some time we've had that happen now as Kyle Busch closes up that points gap to us just a little bit there with that strong run today in Homestead. Overall, though, like I mentioned, that now means that we have had, surprisingly, no repeat winners this season in any 3 series. The Truck Series, it's been all new winners with our team. Tony Bradigner just picking up the victory, Joe Nemechek as well as Matt Crafton. And then on the Xfinity side, it's been Eckes, Timmy Hill, Paul Menard, Landon Castle, as well as Jeremy Clements picking up the wins. And you see Justin Allgaier currently at the bottom of the playoff grid for the Xfinity Series. And on the Cup Series side of things, there you see Keselowski, Briscoe, Brandon Jones, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, and myself, all different winners so far to start the season. Kyle Larson, Kevin Harvick, both having very strong runs in points. Bubba Wallace did not have a good race in Miami, fell down to 12th in the points after that. Byron up to P13, and Smith currently holds on to the last spot with Chastain, Bowman, Haley, DiBenedetto, as well as Gregson, the first 5 out on points. So as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you do know what to do, and I just want to say a thank you really quick to the Going Racing members before we end the episode of MJ, Aiden G, James J, Joseph 9001, RJ, Timothy A, Bubba Jr., Illinois Diecast, Devin Roth, NASCAR Collector 3, as well as Movement. As I always say, you guys help me out a lot, and I really do appreciate it, and hopefully I'll have you guys here on the car for one of the upcoming races in just a handful of episodes. So I'll see you guys in the next one at Texas Motor Speedway. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.